Hey guys, welcome back to GSC. Behind me is the 7.3 and it has a boost leak, a big boost leak. So I'm going to turn this around and explain where the boost leak might be. So she looks a little better than the last time we all saw her. A little less greasy, goopy. So I swapped the charge boots up there where the intercooler pipes reach up to the spider. And I thought, man, this is it. It's going to take care of the job. Turns out it's not. What I'm finding though is that the little boots that hold the spider onto the intake plenum are cracked. So the one on this side is in a lot worse shape than the other. Kind of see him down there, looking a little rough. Both of them have been loose. The clamps were finger tight when I got in here this afternoon and checked it out. And as soon as I tighten the clamps up, they just bubble up and they leave this nice big horseshoe in them where they can't torque down. So my plan is to go ahead and get my 11 millimeter on the impact and knock the charge pipes right off the spider. Go ahead and grab a 10 millimeter and knock the sensors off the front of the spider there, get them out of the way. Remove the air intake, move the Banks box here. Banks charge tube, get the one off the front of the turbocharger there. There's only 2 screws and there's an 8 millimeter bolt behind this that keeps this all firm from wandering around aimlessly. So I'm gonna go ahead and work on collecting tools, but hopefully what I can do is slip this out and get a set of 3-inch intercooler boots out of the garage and slip on there, and that way our boost leak is cured, or at least that's my goal. And I guess I'm gonna find out if these really are the 3-inch boots like everybody says they ought to be. So I'll grab some tools and then start the adventure of pulling the spider out and seeing just how torn up these boots really are. Air intake is out. As you can see here, intercooler pipe is off, out of the way, seen to the turbo. All of our equipment off the front of the spider has been removed. It's a 8 millimeter bolt and a 10. Pulls off that side. This intercooler pipe is free. And the top 8 millimeter clamp on the top of the spider is free. So hypothetically, if I crawl up here and give this thing a tug, it will come free in our hands. So I'll climb up, give it a go. So it's loose. And now it's out. All right, so spider's out. Those 2 boots though are the root of my problems. So I'll reach in here, weasel them out, and then we'll take a look at everything when it's sitting on the cowl of the truck. Here's the boots off the bridge. This one is ripped all the way through and is rather deformed. This one is not a lot better, so I may see what I have sitting in the barn and see what I can't swap out for these because they're in such bad shape. Realistically, those are pretty close to the same length, so I might rob those off there for now and put them on that bridge, and that way what I could do is just put my stock Ford boots on back on the intercooler, since I saved them when I was working on it, trying to find that boost leak the first time. So these are still in good enough shape now that I've dried the oil off that maybe they'll find their way back on the top of the spider, and I'll swap out and take care of those. So the other thing I want to look at, the O-ring is still in the front of the turbo, but there is definitely a lot of goop here in the spider where it met the turbo. So I need to check my alignment there and make sure that everything's hooking up the way it should oughta, because looking from here you can see that back edge is rather dirty and it's also kind of corroded. So I'll crawl up in there, start cleaning these things out, swap over to these other boots, see if I can't get the bridge back in, and continue reassembly. So our boots are slipped on, the spider's in, I cleaned it up a little bit, It's hard to film with one hand and pop this thing in. Boot. I snugged up the clamps best I could by hand. They're a 8mm, just regular old hose clamp, 5/16. So I took care of that. Those are in. Now I need to get the charge boots back on and get the rest of it reassembled. I've got my junction block here for all of our vacuum equipment put on, and other than that I think we're pretty much ready to go, and we'll find out if it leaks. That's the real question here, because if it still leaks, then I'll be tearing this thing way further apart. As you can see, it's back together. Charge pipe, boot, 2 on the Y bridge, air intake's back on. Everything's connected for the spider. All of our vacuum junction here, nuts and bolts are all tight, taken care of. So now I can work on getting down from working on the skyscraper. And we'll take it for a test drive. And if I have a boost leak, well, I'll dig deeper. But at least now we know how to change the boots on the spider in a 7.3 Super Duty. All right, test drive time now. The Y bridge is in, spider, whatever you want to call it, everything's hooked up. New boots are on. The best way to put that thing on, actually, I found, was put the boots right onto the intake plenums and then go ahead and clamp those on real loose, but just so they don't slide around on you. And then go ahead and pop your spider in, and you're pretty much in like Flint at that point. It drops right on. So, all right, that's awesome. Got a little bit of a boost leak still, but not too bad. It's a whole lot better than it was. Go up here and turn the corner and we'll see if it pushed one of those boots off when I get on it again. Definitely sounds like it. Not bad. It has boost again, and if there is a leak, it's minimal. Cool, now we know. The old boots were definitely the biggest part of the problem. So there we have it. Our boost leak is fixed on the 0173 Super Duty, and it was as simple as swapping boots. Thanks, everybody.